You've got to shift your mindset from taking advantage to being the advantage.
Correct. Will they think it's worth it? Or has the free stuff been enough and maybe they won't?
If you're like me,
exactly.
Done. If you're like me,
Yep.
you may actually be in the same situation as me.
Exactly.
And you may need a similar solution.
To not make a call to action sometimes is selfish of you.
Ooh.
They have a problem.
Yes.
You have a solution.
You will get to a point where not making the offer is actually the more irresponsible thing. Are you finding it hard to do your call to action in your videos, right? This is a very sometimes unnerving, sometimes even unnatural place to be for content creators. It can feel like you're taking advantage, of your audience. Some believers say freely I have received, so I want to give freely. But sometimes that doesn't necessarily work, y'all. I can tell you that this was my approach as well. For a long time, I really struggled to make that natural, make it feel well. But I can also tell you that I put together a framework. I learned this framework that helped to shift my perspective. And I regularly hear clients say, this is exactly what I needed, and I'm so glad for the opportunity. And so when I heard it reframed from them, I was like, oh, this wasn't a big ask. It was actually an opportunity to serve. And if making that shift can be an absolutely critical piece for your content journey. One of the things that I always like to say about CTAs, especially call to actions, they're everywhere. You can hear a call to action on the bus, in the airport. You hear them on TV for sure. Everywhere, right? Every commercial and ad has some kind of thing that they want you to do, but you also hear them in content,
right?
Facebook, YouTube. There are ads there, but also there are things that people are saying in the content that is calling you either to challenge you to do something or for you to connect with them at a deeper level.
Right, because I was going to say call to action is not always about money. And
No.
I think that's sometimes where we get stuck is we feel bad because we think the call to action has to be like an ask for money
Absolutely.
or for a purchase or
Yeah,
for whatever.
yeah.
But that's not what a call to action is.
No, and I love that. A call to action is so much more
Yes.
than, hey, buy this.
Yeah.
The call to action can be, have you ever thought about this? In fact, I've already made a couple of call to actions in the video today as well. The quote that I want to share here today as we dive in is, you want to be able to sell the problem you solve, not the product. Sell the problem you solve, not the product. This is the problem. Let's make the problem very clear. Let's make the problem very prominent. And then it just becomes a matter of saying this is the solution to the problem, and you don't even have to sell.
Right.
And I love that. And I love that. So we're going to dive in today. This is another episode of the How It All Works podcast. I'm your host, Kirk Nugent.
I'm Taina Nixon.
My lovely co-host. And today we want to chat through about making the ask or opening up an opportunity. Depending on how you look at it after this episode, maybe you may shift your perspective. One of the things that I love about going to a restaurant, right? You sit down, it's nice. They've got the ambiance set. Sometimes there's, depending on the restaurant, if it's high scale. We just had a birthday in my house, and so we went out and we did something really nice. They come with the wine list.
Right.
Generally speaking, I'm not getting anything from the wine list, but
they'll present it.
They present it.
Yeah.
And so the waiter or waitress will come and say something along the lines of, "Would you like to see the wine list?" And what we know they are asking is, you want some wine?
Do you want to purchase some wine?
would you like
Very expensive.
Very expensive.
Would you like to purchase some wine?
Exactly. But the phrase "would you like to" is their offer.
Yeah.
And I have incorporated that into what I do as well. Only thing that somebody can say when you say "would you like to" is either yes, no, or maybe not right now.
Right.
And that's fine. And I'm telling you, that took a lot of pressure off. Hey, I noticed you did this in that last reel that you put on Instagram. You could possibly add this or this or this. Would you like to jump on a Zoom call for 30 minutes where we can kind of hash out some of those pieces? You would? Here's the link to book it, and you can pay for it right here. You see how easy that? It didn't feel icky.
Right.
Didn't feel salesy. Didn't feel like I was taking advantage of anyone. It just felt a lot more natural. So that phrase, would you like to? That's my gift to any of you who are watching today.
Yeah.
Take that and run with it.
Yeah.
Reframe your ask from the perspective of, would you like to? And it does work outside of things that you want them to buy as well.
Right.
Do you think it would be better to do it this way? It's an opportunity to have deeper conversation and to challenge somebody into thinking a little bit differently about what they're doing, hopefully in the neighborhood of what the transformation is that you are helping them to experience. But man, I tell you, there's always going to be this tension in our minds, in our spirits about what I feel like I'm taking advantage. I've been putting out content for free, and this is the challenge. This is what is trying to make that switch over. So you put in
I've
content.
been giving them something for free, and I feel like they're a part of my community. I feel like they're following me, they are supporting me, but it's all been for free. So now if I push and ask them to now switch over and pay me for something, are they going to like convert in that way?
Yeah.
Will they think it's worth it? Or has the free stuff been enough? And maybe they won't, maybe they'll think that maybe they'll wonder like, who do you think you are asking me for money? Like for what? Like, it's not even that deep. It's not even,
this is not even a big, why would I pay to fix this?
Right.
So as a live streamer, right, I used to do a lot of content on Amazon, and not just the product content. It was the actual live show content. So people would send me things, and I would showcase them during my live show. And I actually was asked to speak at an Amazon live conference a year or so ago. And the topic they wanted me to speak on was like, how do you sell without selling? Because the whole point of being live on Amazon is that you're selling.
Correct.
And so this is a little bit different than a regular live show. It's not just providing value
Nobody's
for value's sake.
on Amazon Live to make friends. Like, it's not a social platform like that.
And so my entire presentation was essentially around doing these things. I'm like, okay, take a product. I'm trying to find something now that I can pick up. Let me do this one. So you take a product, right? You take this product and say, okay, when did I get it? Write that down. What was happening that week? Write that down. Why did I buy this particular product versus something else? Write that down. What did you find good about this product? What did you not like about this product? Was it missing anything? Write those things down. And then just kind of talk through what you would do differently with this product, or what are the things you found about the product that surprised you, that you weren't looking for? When you write all those things down, you're now just telling a story.
You're just having a conversation. You're just telling a story about a thing that you like.
About a thing. And you want to set it up that way. It's like, man, I was really looking for something that I could use. This is a Bluetooth speaker, right? So I was looking for something that I could use. Didn't need a whole lot of sound, but I didn't really want to be listening to the speaker on my phone. So what I'm doing is I'm creating this space, and I was looking at this. Somebody suggested this one. They said it was cool, so I bought it, and it came in clutch. I don't like, it does disconnect Bluetooth every now and again, but I like it because I can just set it off to the side there. It's playing music in the background, and it just helps me during my study time, whatever. You begin sharing those pieces. You haven't necessarily told anybody to buy it.
Correct.
You're just giving them the story around it.
Right.
And that's what you can do very naturally in your content. And it might be it might not be a full-on CTA, but what you're invariably doing is...
Could you give an example of like how you could tack on a CTA to the end of that story?
Once
absolutely. You get to the end of it.
Yeah, it's like if you're like me...
Exactly.
Done. If you're like me, if you're in a scenario where you don't want too much sound, but you want to, normally when I do the example, I use that phone holder that's on the desk right there, because I didn't buy it just to put my phone on it. I bought it because every now and again I want to record myself while I'm on a Zoom call. And so when I show it, I'm like, this is what I use to record myself. And the phone sits there, I turn it like that, and I hit the record. So if you're looking to record yourself on a Zoom call, go and check out last episode, 2 episodes ago, where we said be the content. You want to be able to record yourself while you're doing things. This could be a solution rather than just kind of propping it up, because that's what I was doing.
Exactly.
Right? And so,
exactly.
You put it in a scenario where it's like you may actually be in the same situation as me.
Exactly.
And you may need a similar solution.
Exactly. So thinking about it that way is how a coach of mine helped me with the whole CTA thing. Yeah. She was like, to not make a call to action sometimes is selfish of you.
Ooh.
Because you're not thinking about it from the perspective of their problem.
Yeah.
They have a problem.
Yes.
You have a solution.
Yes.
But because you're too afraid, you're too prideful, you're too whatever, you are not asking them to get that solution.
Yeah.
You're trying to solve a problem for them.
My word.
And so she's like, either you don't believe that it really is a solution, because sometimes that's the problem. Sometimes you don't have a lot of confidence in making the CTA because you don't have a lot of confidence in your offer.
Wow.
And that's something that you have to work on. You have to do the work around that to make sure that what you're offering is really worth what you're asking for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then it's worth it to ask them for what you're asking for.
Mercy.
And then sometimes you're just afraid of rejection, or, whatever the case is. But either way, you're not thinking selflessly in that moment.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree with you more. And again, this is also in the notes. That's why I was like smiling at first, because it's like, no, you will get to a point where not making the offer is actually the more irresponsible thing to do.
Correct.
Actually, you're not taking advantage. You are leaving them at a disadvantage.
That's right.
Because you haven't given them the offer. And that's actually the point I was going to make there is you've got to shift your mindset from taking advantage to being the advantage.
Correct.
Like you or your solution plus your client or your audience member's issue means success.
Yep.
Like me plus my coaching client means we can probably get this done in 3-4 days.
Exactly.
Them by themselves, 2 years.
Right.
Now that's unfair.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
is it the kind thing to do to let them struggle for 2 years when they could have paid you X amount of dollars
and we get
solve their problem and likely make that money back?
You see leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
And what you just said is exactly right. The other challenge for many of us is that we don't see it, what we're providing as an investment, we see it as an expense.
Exactly.
And that's what you just framed out right there is so good. Helping your audience members to see them working with you, them buying from you, them patronizing you as an investment as opposed to an expense is huge. It's critical because you do want to play up. So here's the problem. We're selling we're highlighting the problem. The solution is just on the back end. Yeah. And this is another great piece about content as well. When you're creating content, especially free content like we're doing right now. Yes, we are giving you tools, tips, best practices. We're sharing from our lived experiences, but there's still more. Like if somebody really wants to dive into the guts of creating their particular CTA, there's a lot that I could share with you that I cannot share in this scenario.
Right.
So what I'm doing in this episode is highlighting the problem. The problem is you've got to switch your perspective about what you think a CTA is and how you deliver that.
Correct.
Some of what I'm sharing with you is basically highlighting the problem, but the real solution happens when we get one-on-one.
Right.
And this is the whole concept of content.
Right.
And it's not a matter of like I'm gatekeeping, I'm holding things back. No, I'm sharing with you everything that I know.
Right.
But until I know your specific situation,
correct.
I can't
tailor a solution
exactly
for you.
A tailored solution. So keeping all those pieces in mind is how you begin to structure and frame out your content in a way that feels natural. Yeah. It's just natural. Like I'm live and somebody says, Kirk, I really like your lighting. I would love to just know what your lighting list is. I haven't even tried. I'm not even trying. But clearly this person that's asking this has a problem with lighting.
Correct.
So now I'm highlighting the problem. Yeah, sometimes you have the shadow on this. Like, yes. You see what I'm saying? I'm not even giving them a solution yet.
Right.
Like, they're just agreeing with me because it's like,
that
you
is
understand
a problem
the problem
that they have.
Exactly. And when you can nail the problem, this is other really great thing about content is like when you can nail the problem, when you can describe the problem almost better than your audience members, you can back up a truck.
Right.
Because they're just like, take my money because I need to solve this problem.
Right.
Because for them, they've already connected that solving this problem means that they get to their goals just that much faster. And that's super dope. So the CTA is part of the creator's lifestyle, and having the systems and infrastructure behind those CTAs is also super critical as well. If you don't have that could be an absolute disaster. A CTA is an offer is an opportunity to serve. That's another concept that most people haven't. It's an opportunity to serve. It benefits your audience and clients. It solves a problem. selling is solving. And so I want to give you 5 S's. 5 S's for shifting your mentality around making the CTA. 5 S's. Okay, the first S, I'm really interested to see what you're going to say on these. This is always good. I said 5, it's 4.
Okay.
If I could read properly today. Shift is the first S.
Okay.
Shift from taking advantage to being the advantage. Remember, I said this was in my notes, but the concept here, of course, is you plus your audience's issue means success. And so when you begin to recognize that I'm actually their advantage. Correct. I'm not necessarily taking advantage. This is not being icky or silly.
Right.
I'm making sure that they have an opportunity. It's the would you like.
Right.
And because some people may not.
They might not. And that's okay.
Yeah, but you making the offer, I kid you not, so many people that I get a chance to work with, and they're like, I'm so glad that you had this thing that I could buy, because working with you has meant I've been able to, exponentially move this project forward so much faster.
Right.
So giving them the opportunity is me giving them an advantage.
I when I think about that too, and this might come up in your other 3 S's, I don't know, but some of my call to actions are like a little less conventional. I think it's very rare that I'm like, would you like to work with me as a coach? Like, it doesn't really work for me. It doesn't feel natural.
Right.
Especially because I don't have a lot of like structured me sitting in a studio content as a coach. Like a lot of my coaching comes out of lifestyle content. Yeah. So it feels more natural to say it as if we were having a conversation.
Absolutely.
Where I'd be like, so have you been struggling with that? If you've been struggling with that, just send me a DM, girl. Yeah. We'll talk. I work with women, so we talk like that for real. And that's why a lot of my clients like me, because they're like, you're just my homegirl who tells me what to do every week, and then you solve my problem in six weeks or less, right?
I love that.
So I will say, like, DM me milkshake.
Yeah.
And we'll talk, because I did that's how I got a couple of my clients. I did a video to the trending sound. I think, is that a Fergie song? My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
But
so
I don't know if it was Fergie. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah,
I don't think it was Fergie though.
I don't think it was Fergie either. But anyway, I did it was a trending song at the time. I did a video about that, and in the caption, the video is like clearly a joke, but it's about coaching.
Right.
And then in the caption, I said, if you also have been struggling with A, B, and C, just DM me milkshake.
Done.
So this girl DM'd me, and she's like, I've been watching your content for such a long time. I think it's so funny. I think it's so relatable. It's this, it's that. And I probably wouldn't have like gone to your website to purchase a coaching. But when you said that, I was like, yeah, okay. So she just DM'd me. Literally the first thing she just DM'd milkshake, no explanation. And then I launched into, hey, thanks for reaching out. Tell me a little bit about what you're going through.
Boom.
And then it just happened naturally, and we ended up working together for like 6 months.
Look at that.
And so it doesn't have to be super conventional.
No.
But the thing is, I know I was speaking from a very personal space when I made that CTA, DM me milkshake. Yeah. I took the pressure off by making it unconventional, but it was a real problem that women were having.
Right.
And I know that because I lived it.
And it's your lived experience.
It's my lived experience. I had to help, offer it to somebody as a solution. I had to solve it on my own. It took me forever. They don't have to do that.
Exactly.
They don't have to do that.
That's the cheat code.
And
there's a stewardship component there, because you're being a good steward of your story and the things that your story has taught you.
Right.
But I love how you said it, because this is another type of CTA, in my opinion, that moves the needle. But it's really getting the person to raise their hand and say, that's me.
I just needed another way for them to raise their hand.
But to be honest, and I want people to kind of catch this, your real offer was in the DM.
Right.
That CTA is a call to action.
And it's just an action. I just needed them to take an action. Good point.
Take this action.
You're good point.
And when they took that action, because it's like, how many of you would like to make an extra $100,000 next year?
Right.
DM me the word extra.
Right. Whatever. Yeah. Like, extra, who's not going to do that? Who's not going to do that? Yeah.
I definitely want.
Even if it's just to find out what it is you're offering, people will at least pique their curiosity so that they'll go, that extra step.
But I will give you the other side of that, which is for the creator, coach, whatever, service provider. If you make a particular product, you also get so much more information when you're able to talk with potential clients, even if they never book you.
Yes.
But if you just say, hey, give me a little bit more information, that little piece there where they're like, man, well, this is what I was thinking. That may not have been what you were thinking to offer.
Correct.
But because they've shared now what their issue is.
Now you have that data.
Oh, I can definitely help you with that.
Exactly.
Let's do and you can make a custom offer right on the. Listen, I'm telling you, this has been my life.
Yes.
Custom offer right on the spot.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Here's a Stripe link. Let's go.
Right.
And before you know it, you're off and running, and they're experiencing the transformation. People have needs.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes getting them to raise their hand, self-identify, and say, yeah, I would like to do this. Mm-hmm. And then when they say that, my next question is, so what's the hurdle?
Right.
What's keeping us from getting there?
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Well, I need this. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when you said custom
done.
offers, I thought of that because there's been a times when someone has come to me saying that they need one thing.
Right.
And then in talking to them, I'm like, okay, I know you came to me because you wanted like a quick content intensive, right? I totally understand that. If you still want to do that, we can do that. We can talk for 90 minutes.
Yep.
And then you can have a content plan and go out into the world and do it. However, what I'm hearing actually is that you don't have the time or the capacity in your life because there are other priorities that you're pushing up against, right?
You're
having a hard time with your
mm-hmm.
special needs kid, and you're not actually taking care of your body. I think I heard you say that you're pre-diabetic.
Mercy.
Hey,
let's get some things together.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I was like, I want you to create content. But I just feel like we maybe have some other priorities
to get things situated.
That's why I'm a life coach. Yes, I do content.
Yeah.
I make it. I can help you make it too.
Right.
But I think we have more important things. Yeah. And I would like to offer that to you because I think that could change your life a little bit more than making the content.
That is so good. This is what you're saying right now is just, this is not part of the notes. This is just general conversation.
Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons why one or two of my clients were like, you're not real. You're more than a live video coach. You're a life video coach.
Exactly.
And I'm like, oh, I never thought of it that way. But the way you just put it like that, I'm like, yeah, because some of the issues that we are dealing with don't have anything to do with video.
Not really. But they are going to keep you from making the content.
They will. And they'll keep you from being consistent, which is the key to being successful in this space. That's so good. Yeah. That is so good. Okay. What S are we on now? Is it?
You did shift.
Yes. Okay. Shift. The second S is study. Mm-hmm. And this is the homework piece. You got to study the pain you seek to alleviate. Study the pain you seek to alleviate. If you know the pain, that's why I said earlier, if you can describe the problem better than your audience, they're going to be like, this guy gets that. He
gets it.
That is another. So I was on one of my coach's coaching call, and one of the guys in the session was like, the reason why I'm here, the reason why I paid for this program is because you get me. You get the problem. When you describe it, I'm sitting there like, it's like this man has been looking over my shoulder for the last 10 months while I've been dealing with these issues. You have to, in order to be able to describe it in that way, it's not going to come from notes. It's not going to come from like, let me put these bullet points on the screen. It's going to come from you studying that pain and knowing it so well, you can just rattle it off.
Right.
You can begin to talk about the different things that are keeping you you're talking about this person that you're talking to.
Right.
Hey, I heard you say this. I heard you say that.
Yeah, I'm like,
those are going to have impact here too.
Correct.
We need to deal with those. And because you have that deeper understanding, you know the pain better than the client does.
Correct.
You can prescribe something, either content or a framework or a system or coaching or whatever. You can prescribe a solution that they would easily pay for because it meets their need. You understand it more than they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, study.
Or you can articulate it better than they can. So then it pings something in their head. They're like, oh, that's what I've been experiencing.
Exactly. Oh, if you can get that experience, oh my word.
Yeah.
If somebody's it's like, that's what it is.
Yes.
I didn't have language for it. I didn't have vocabulary for it before I heard you say that.
Exactly.
And now I'm like, thank you. But if you're struggling with making a CTA or making an offer, because we've already defined that they are slightly different. One of the issues, of course, is that you haven't studied the pain enough.
Exactly.
You haven't done your homework. So that's the second S. Third S, and we're moving quickly now. Speak the language of victory. See, because you said this earlier. I had already solved it myself.
Right.
And victory has a tonality to it.
Yeah.
Oh God! So I'm trying my best to not preach this.
I was about to say, I feel like you're trying to preach. Are you trying to preach right now?
I'm gonna leave it alone. But no, I mean this sincerely. Like, it's victory has a tense to it.
Yeah.
Like when I used to.
Correct.
It used to take me 2 months to do one video. Now I can do them in 2 hours and have that thing out before the end of the day.
Right.
And people are like,
oh.
The language of victory. You got to speak the language of victory. The language of victory is your ask before the ask.
Yeah.
That's what you pepper your content with, the language of victory. Just I overcame. I did boom, boom, boom. I'm doing this now. This is that's not an issue I deal with anymore because I already solved that one. Right. This is the issue I'm dealing with now. Folks are like, what? Oh. And it also kind of creates this framework like I'm behind them on the journey.
Right. I'm ahead of them on the journey.
Yeah, I'm ahead of them on the journey. And this is the person that's going to be able to pull me along with them.
Correct.
Because as they learn, they're teaching. And that's what you want, people to be in your content. That's what you want people to have that experience of.
Right.
As you speak the language of victory, it comes across in some very natural ways. And you'll hear it from place to place. I don't want to put too much on it, but that is your sell before the sell.
Yeah.
When people hear that, when they experience it, when they say to themselves, yeah, no, what the picture you're painting is what I would love to experience. Yes. But I'm not there now.
Right.
I'm not there now.
Exactly.
Speak the language of victory. For the scenario you talked about earlier, where it's like I had already solved this. In the content, had you shared anything about the fact that you had already solved this?
Yes. Well, because remember that. This is why lifestyle content is always going to be my fave, right? Because these people have followed me. They've sort of seen the trajectory.
Got it.
So for a lot of them, the struggle was that they wanted to become a content creator, but their moms and their wives and their this and their that, right? And they just haven't been consistent. Some of them wanted to be selling a product, and it's been in the back of their mind for a long time, but they just had all these different things going on, right? So they watched me, a lot of them go from working my 9 to 5 to having a baby, to then juggling my 9 to 5 and having a baby. And I was just like super honest about it. I think I've talked about before showing the video of me driving from my house to a meeting and pumping while I was driving, just like crazy stuff like that. So they have seen me when I say, if you're juggling, they're like, oh, I know, because I've seen her juggle,
exactly.
And then I talk about how to prioritize certain things and also let certain things fall away. They've seen that too, you know? And so then they're able, now we're almost coming to a culmination point where I'm like, yeah, I remember when I used to blah, blah, blah. I also could not create content under those circumstances. I did not have proper time management.
Come on.
And they know, and I've talked to them about how I used to teach time management at the university.
Yeah.
And I would say, even though I was teaching it, I wasn't implementing it.
My goodness.
And so this is some of the stuff that you need.
There. I was teaching, but I wasn't implementing.
I wasn't implementing, right. Like, let's talk about the hypocrisy of it all. Anyway, but so we talked about all of those things. And so a lot of them all that to also show that it's not just one video you make and now you're making a CTA.
Thank you.
Right? It's like we have built a rapport over time. They like me. They know me. They trust me.
Yes.
And so now when I say, if you want some help, DM me. They're like, you know what? Yeah, I have seen her overcome a lot of these things, and I see her now literally doing something in victory that she wanted to do all this time, and she is literally walking in it right now. I want to know how to get to that point for me. They weren't trying to be coaches, right? Yeah. They were trying to do their own thing, but because they saw me accomplish a goal right in front of them, they're like, I have goals I also want to accomplish.
We did an episode earlier on in this podcast series, and I think it was with BT, Brian Taylor, one of my mentors, and the title was "By Beholding You Become Changed."
Right.
And what you're just talking about now, they have been seeing you and they've been beholding. That's what all beholding means.
Correct.
Is that you've been putting on display your whole journey and transformation.
Right.
And who better than them to know? Like,
they were there.
You are the person.
Yeah.
You can help me to experience this.
Yeah.
And so that's super exciting to hear, man. Let me get this last S for you guys. So we talked about shift from taking advantage to being the advantage. We talked about studying the pain you seek to alleviate. Speaking the language of victory. Those are the first three. The last S is share your personal experience. Share your personal experience.
Yep. That's what we just talked about. I just told you.
Remember I talked about the device. What are the stories around it? What happened that week? Why did you buy? It's sharing your personal experience.
Yeah.
When we go into story mode, experience mode, we don't necessarily need a script because you lived it.
Right.
And when you're in that mode, it is a selling sweet spot that feels like you're not selling at all.
Right.
I mean, because you're not.
Right.
You're just sharing.
You're just sharing a story. Yeah.
And so if you have struggles with the offer, with the CTA, with making that leap, helping people to self-identify, these are some things I think really will help you, man, because you would put some of these things into place. You start to realize that you actually have more, basically, content. You have more to work with than you ever thought about.
Yeah.
The other thing that I will say here, because it just occurred to me, one of the challenges for many is that they're making content. We talked about proximity before, but they're making content about things that they're not experiencing. They're making content about things that there is no be the content for it because they're just talking about it.
Correct.
They're not experiencing it.
Correct.
They're not doing it anymore.
Yep.
When I would make content or videos about producing shows for clients, it's because that's what I was doing. I'd make the video and then go and produce shows. And people would be like, oh man, how do you know this stuff? I'm like, at that time, I was producing like 20, 30 shows a week for clients.
Wow.
So I'm constantly in these platforms, StreamYard, Restream, EVMux, Ecamm. So I know them. So even though you don't necessarily see me live, I'm actually behind the scenes doing the work. I had tons of be the content and stories and experiences.
Yes.
If you are making content about an area, a topic, and a niche that you aren't currently experiencing, none of these work.
Right.
Like none of these work. You how can you be the advantage?
And
you know what
this is part of why I was like, if you're having a hard time with your CTA,
come on,
it could be that it's not genuine.
Boom.
You know, you're trying to sell a product or something that you don't really use in your everyday life. It's not going to work.
No.
Like even from the perspective of an influencer, I only shared stuff that I used personally because otherwise that's when people start sounding weird and salesy about stuff. It's because they're not even speaking from their general experience. They're just telling you like the bullet points, you know, from off the back of the box of the product. Correct.
It's got Bluetooth 2.0.
This is supposed to do versus when I used this, this is what it did for me.
Yeah. I found it very interesting in the Amazon program, right? There are requirements that they don't tell you guys this as consumers who are watching, but for those of us who are creating the content, you must have the device, the product. You have to have it.
That only makes sense.
If you don't have it, you can't make a video about it.
That only makes sense.
And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So that you're actually holding it, turning it around like, yeah. It has this little thing here. It's the stuff that is intangible. That's what makes that platform work.
Correct.
That's what makes those videos work, is because I have it and you're looking at it. And so, there's that. If you don't have proximity, if you don't actually have access to this thing or this area, this niche, it becomes very disingenuous. It will feel salesy.
And it's gonna feel salesy. You might feel bad about it.
Yeah.
And you should feel bad about it.
And this is another metric. You should feel bad about it. I mean, I don't want to gloss over that, but this is another metric to think about here, is when you're dealing with brands, you have to build that component in, because somebody may want to send me a microphone and I'm like, okay, I can't do a video until I have it.
Correct.
Number one. And number two, I might have to use it for a little bit before I can develop an opinion. And you may not like the opinion. I'm just keeping the stack up front. I want to make that known, because I'm not just going to, just because you're paying me for this, I'm not just going to make it a good video.
Right.
I'm going to talk about pros and cons.
Yeah.
I'm going to compare it to some of your competitors.
Okay. Speaking of call to actions and being genuine, I just remembered there was a hair care line that sent me product, and we worked out it wasn't just like a review for a product. It was actually a paid promotion that I was going to do for them.
Nice.
But when I used it was like 4 different things in it was like a clarifying shampoo, a conditioning shampoo, a deep conditioning mask, and a leave-in, right? And there was at least one of the things, the mask, I did not like it. It didn't work well for my hair. I have thicker hair.
Right.
Like, y'all don't know this now. Today I have on a hat, and also I have short hair. But at the time I had like long hair, down past my shoulders. And the type of hair that I have, it was that product was like too heavy for my hair.
For the hair.
So what I did was we've already agreed on this brand deal.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm still going to do it, but I did tailor my call to action. I was honest about it. This mask, I didn't love it as much for my hair. And I explained why it didn't work for me.
My hair. Right.
Then when I made the call to action about purchasing the products, I said, if you have this type of hair, whatever, this will work for you.
Yes.
Grab this hair mask.
Yes.
If you have hair like mine, skip the mask,
but get everything else.
Get the rest.
Yeah.
The leave-in is phenomenal. I'm still using it today.
Gold.
So you can be honest. I can speak honestly, but I only could do that because I used it myself and actually like experienced, and I could talk about it. And I was honest with my audience to say, I didn't love this.
And that gives you notoriety and credibility with your audience that you can't buy. And the other piece I want to say here is good brands, right?
Right.
Will welcome that.
Correct.
Kind of
yes, they were not upset at all about that. They were not upset at all. Yeah.
Because truth be told, they may not have known it.
No.
Before.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think another time I said about a brand that I didn't like the packaging that it came in. I said, it makes it difficult. I can't pump it out. It's too thick.
Wow.
It's difficult to pump. So I told the audience the solution that I had. I still bought it, but I put it into a jar.
A different jar. Oh,
I put it in a jar. And hopefully the brand also hears that.
Let me make some changes.
And makes a change.
See, these are the honesty piece of it, I think, is where your credibility comes from. That's actually what makes the sale easier. Because it's like, okay, like after a while on Amazon, it got to a point where people would be like, hey, Kirk, do you have this thing? Because I'm looking to buy it, and I know you give honest reviews.
Exactly.
And do you have this? And I'm like, no, I don't. But hey, such and such brand, if you're watching, go ahead and send that to your boy so I can review it. This guy right here is waiting. You know what I mean? So, but it becomes that kind of a scenario. You're still building your own brand.
Correct.
You're know, like, and trust is a huge thing that you want to make sure you're mindful of. But I love the way you frame that, because I do think that even for your own products, it's like, my coaching isn't for everyone.
Correct.
It's like, it's not across the board. So it's not just with brands or whatever. It's not for everyone.
Right.
Like if you're very averse, now not all my clients are believers, but if you're averse to religion,
correct,
me and you are just not. It's not going to work.
It's not a good match.
It's not going to work.
Yep.
I do have clients who are not religious,
right,
who are not Christian,
right.
One of my guys, Demolition News, he's over in the UK. He's like, I don't even know why we work, but I love working with you. So I'm saying that it still works. Yes. I have clients that are like this, but if you're like, man, if anytime you hear somebody say anything about God, you're like, oh Lord, then
it's not,
probably I'm probably not the guy, and that's okay.
That's okay.
I think that's the thing. Is like,
so you can be specific in your CTA,
absolutely,
so that the right person hears it and is like, this is for me, and the wrong person hears it and is like, probably not for me.
And you want the wrong person to go.
Correct.
You really do.
Correct.
You want the wrong person to quickly say, this is
to
not
exit
for me.
on their own.
Yeah. Because
you don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste their time.
Serving the wrong client. My. I think we just found another episode.
Yeah, we got to talk about that one day.
Serving the wrong client.
Boy, the stories I have.
Mercy. Listen, I want to run back through these real quick and we're going to land. But the 4S framework for video marketing: shift from taking advantage to being the advantage. Study the pain you seek to alleviate. And I got to tell y'all, man, you got to study that. Like, this is the homework. This is the stuff that you not only say in the CTA, you put it in the content.
Yeah.
You want to speak the language of victory. It has a tone to it. It has a tense to it. And I'm telling you, those who are in that valley, who are struggling, when they hear that tone, it's like their ears perk up. You want to make sure you do that. And then you want to share your personal experience. Steward your story, man. Like, that's going to be the cheat code that really helps to get you across the line. Think of your CTA as basically helping people to self-identify and raise their hand and make the offer later. I was doing an email campaign with one of my members of my team. We have added another 30 emails to this one thing on my mailing list for digital footprints, and we're just kind of going through them. But I was explaining to her, it's like, I don't want to ask them anything about coaching or anything like that in the email. All I want them to do is reply. And so she went back through and she put these really cool things at the end of the email where it was like, if you take a screenshot of your Facebook profile, the picture and the banner, send it to me, and I'll give you 2 tweaks. Right. So now I just want them to reply. This is the CTA. So I just want them to reply. There's like a ton of these.
Yeah.
They're really practical based on the email that was sent. So, but the person now will take that screenshot, send it to me in that second email.
Right.
I'm definitely making an offer.
Right.
I'm going to give them value,
but
I'm going to make them an offer. I don't want to make the offer in the initial engagement.
Right.
I want to make the offer a level or two deeper.
Yes.
Without derailing our conversation, where are we at here? But if you've ever noticed in the book of Esther, right? She calls.
I know exactly where you're going.
She goes into the king.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, put the scepter out. He's like,
Yeah,
yo,
she
up to
coulda
my
made
kid.
the
He could have
ask
asked
right
right there. She's like, nah, I want you to come to dinner with me.
Yes.
And then that second night,
She still. Yep.
Okay.
That's so good.
By the time he came to that third one, he was like, sis,
what do you
whatever
want?
you want. Okay?
You got it, girl. Just tell me.
Whatever you want. And
just tell me.
So it's that same principle of not that first interaction.
Yeah.
Get people to raise their hand.
Right.
Get them people to give you some yeses, self-identify, and then ask a little bit later. And it can be that next interaction, or it could be,
right.
a level
and a lot of
deeper.
that, what we're talking about right now is, I think, probably specific to service-based.
Agreed.
People.
Agreed.
If you're selling a product, sell your product.
Sell
you
your
know
product.
What I mean?
Yeah,
Do your
yeah,
thing.
absolutely. But if you can engage, if you can engage, that's going to be gold. Oh, I love this conversation today, man. This has been absolutely amazing. Another episode of the How It All Works podcast. I really hope that you put some of these things into action. In fact, comment below which one of those S's really spoke to you. Right? There's 4 of them. So comment below, let us know. And listen, I want to say this as well. If you are not following Taina, her handle is
the Taina Nixon
on Instagram. And I'm Kirk Arnugent on Instagram as well. Also want to say we have show notes, episode guides for each one of the episodes of the How It All Works podcast available in my school community. So if you go to kirkarnugent.live/school, the link is in the description and the first comment below. You can get that episode guide. Sometimes you need the summary, you need the action items, you need the next steps, and we have those in each one of those guides. It's not just a random set of notes from the episode. It's actual things that you can take and do tomorrow, right?
Nice.
So definitely want to make sure you guys get a chance to check out all of the above. This has been another episode of the How It Works podcast. We're excited that you have been with us today. Hope that you're going to come back next week or check out some of the other previous episodes. I'm your host, Kirk Nugent. This is my lovely co-host,
Taina Nixon.
and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Later.